lot of people feel stuck with one chicken, one meal, so much waste that goes along with it. In today's video, we're going to show you how simple it is to get 3 meals or 3 days out of just one rotisserie chicken. Let's go ahead and get started. Whether you bought this at the store under a heat lamp or you did the rotisserie yourself, we'll start with how to break this bird down into those 3 meals. You cut this into bite size or portion size parallel cuts to the breast. You ensure that everyone gets a taste of that skin versus just that one person who gets the large cut of the skin. You can make the whole family happy. This is the most common missed cuts on a chicken. We call them the medallions, and they're one of the most cherished pieces of the chicken. They're on the underside, and if you forget them, they go to waste. This is meal 1. Everyone does this step. The changes go on from here for the additional 2 meals. You've got the chicken broken down. What do we do now? At the end of that first meal, you're left over with a chicken carcass, bones, and leftover meat. That rolls into meal number 2, comfort food. You're going to set aside the leftover meat and then take that carcass, which has some meat left on it that you'll pick off at the end, but you make a bone broth out of it. That bone broth freezes, and this is from the last chicken. We'll go ahead and use that in our next meal, and you end up with an excellent bone broth. Capture all of the juices you can that's caught on the plate or in your rotisserie oven. All right, we've arrived at meal number 2. This is a little bit of prep work. We're 2 days later. This has been sitting in the fridge, ready to go. Quick assembly. This is going to be chicken gravy rice with a side green. While this cooking is going on, we've chosen our trusty cast iron pan a little bit deeper. Easy to make gravy in. The cast iron will keep it from burning. No PFAS forever chemicals in it. Cast iron. Our rice is going over here on the side, and it's worthwhile to get one of these rice cookers. We picked this one up in a thrift store for, I think it was $8. It was brand new, never been used. Another one of those things that you can look for. Quick tip, we like to use jasmine rice. Wash or rinse your rice off. You get rid of that starch, you end up getting a much fluffier rice. Not quite so sticky together, goes well with the meal. We've got our homemade broth, been sitting in the fridge, and we picked that chicken, picked it down, the bones taken out, and what was left, this is basically bone broth. That's going to be the base for the gravy in this. So let's go ahead, get that warming up. That's all those bits of meat. And there's not a whole lot in there. As a matter of fact, we're going to take some of the leftovers. Not going to do breast meat. It's kind of a waste of breast meat to put that in there. Chop that chicken up a little bit. And where I told you most of what we have left over is the dark meat, this is the perfect use for that dark meat. More tender, a little bit more flavor in it than breast meat, and it's just a nice addition to this gravy. And look at all that delicious fat that's floating on top up there. That is the perfect amount to get into your gravy. This is going to be a lot of gravy, I can tell you that. That's going to have to simmer down for a while. And we want to get all of that fat from our bone broth into that gravy. Before we add any flour, we need to add our spices. Just a hint of garlic. This is probably about a teaspoon's worth. About 3 tablespoons of chopped onion. Chopped onion bits going right in there. It's a fair amount of onion. Adds a lot of flavor. Black pepper. Probably about a teaspoon's worth, and about a teaspoon, maybe a half a teaspoon worth of salt, because there was salt coming in from the rotisserie that's in this bone broth already. So you got to be careful. Salt to taste, pepper to taste. You've got to be careful about how much salt you put into this. And I've got one other trick that I could recommend If you're feeling like your bone broth is a little bit bland and you need to add salt, use the Knorr chicken bouillon to add the salt. It'll add that flavor that you want in your gravy. It's chicken soup. It takes it to that next level. As long as you're adding salt, our bone broth here is not bland. When you make it homemade, you can also buy chicken broth at the store and make this whole recipe from scratch. If you have to add salt, use chicken bouillon. While this is simmering along, we're going to go ahead and start the greens, since this is going to have to cook down a little bit. And we've got our spinach from the garden in here. And believe it or not, all of this will cook down into only a couple of servings. So during the cook here, the rice is going. We're going to have the spinach cooking down, the gravy being made. As a matter of fact, in this rice cooker, the rice is already done. It's set on warm. We can push that to the side. Ouch. Push that to the side and it can sit over there ready to go for the meal. Simmer. Let's get the spinach going. So we've let this simmer for 10-15 minutes. It's probably simmered down about 3/4 of an inch. So we'll go ahead and begin to add our thickening agent, which we're using flour, just flour and water. About 1/4 cup of flour and 1.5 cups of water makes a slurry. You got to keep it shaken up. And this is how you avoid lumps in your gravy. Simply stir the whole time as you add that in. Don't add it all in. Thicken it to the consistency that you like, bit by bit, until it becomes the kind of gravy that you want it to be. And if we had the time, we could just let this continue to simmer those liquids off and it will get thicker and thicker. But we're going to go for the high speed method and just add some more flour and water mixture. This also increases your volume. So when we had 4 kids here in the house, my wife and I, we had to have so much gravy to make this meal. It's the sole belly filling portion of the meal. And they used to pile the gravy on the rice. And think about this meal. You've got a pile of rice, easy to cook, inexpensive, yesterday's chicken meat, bone broth made from it, easy, inexpensive, and they can eat as much of this as they want. And then throw on top of that a vegetable on the side, and you have an incredibly healthy meal. My mouth is watering again. Every video, I know I say that because it's the truth. You'll hear me smacking and swallowing my salivation down. It smells so good. So our spinach is finished up. The rice is done. We've only got a minute or 2 left on the gravy. This is when I will yell out, dinner's ready, and start fixing plates. Let's go ahead and put a plate together for you to see. While we're here, third meal, 1 chicken. And this meal is so easy. I'm gonna go ahead and show you my recipe, but everyone tweaks, has their own version of chicken salad that they want to make. So we actually have some of that breast meat left over, and that, in my opinion, makes the best chicken salad. And you'll notice that all of the skin is in this, which, who doesn't like the skin on chicken? It's that second meal in between that really stretches this out into the 3 meals with the chicken gravy. It does not take a whole lot of the meat to make that meal. Coupled with the rice, so inexpensive. I get it. I remember the days of barely holding on by 2 fingers on the edge of the cliff, financially trying to figure out how we're going to pay the bills and feed 4 kids, stay-at-home wife. It was financial gymnastics. I'm with you. I remember those days. They were heady days. Some people would say they miss them. I do not. Weight of the world on my shoulders for sure. Everyone looking at me to provide what was necessary. So it's strategies like this that keep the ball in the air. And all of this run to the store and buy it, that's what they want you doing. The teach a man to fish concept of doing this yourself, gathering your resources, getting every scrap of resources out of that chicken that you can. Heck, I didn't even show this in the video, but when those bones cook down in the Instapot, they become like mush. I then drain those out and feed that to the dog. I just realized that I still have the bones that are left over from when we made the bone broth, and this is what's left over. It turns into like a mush, all the nutrients in the bones, the protein that's in there, and absolutely, Finley, come here, sit. I don't know if you can see him in the camera, but this is one of his favorite treats that he gets. If he smells this come out of the fridge, he's coming running to get this in his bowl. Good boy. Good boy. You want a little taste? You want a little taste? Dog. There isn't a single piece of this chicken that goes to waste. Notice the taste. More dried onion. We've already put the mayonnaise in there. And in a future video, we're going to be making homemade mayonnaise. We're going to get into making that and learn that process. And 20 bucks says we save money from it, but also get back to that flavor that I grew up with. When you're stirring, actually when I'm stirring my chicken salad, I like to mash it up some to break those pieces that we've cut up and made into little squares. And when you do that, it just makes it a little bit better. Too easy. Meal 3. For those of you interested in rotisserie chicken, we're going to go ahead and put a segment in here to show you our process for that. Hands down, the best thing to use for this is cotton butcher's twine. You want to grab that butcher's twine and get yourself about 2 arms length worth of butcher's twine, and then fold that in half. That becomes the mark that you'll use to start at the center of the chicken, right on the drumsticks. The spice that we love to use in this is Cavender's all-purpose Greek seasoning. This spice, we've been through multiples, putting the rubs together ourselves, different methods. We've tried injection, and just hands down as far as speed and the flavor that my family loves the most is this. There is a method to the madness when you're applying your Cavenders to it. You want to make certain that you get in the cavity, and I also go into the parts that are going to squish together and you're never going to have access to them again once the cook starts. I dust those down first. You're going to want to start with a square knot on the drumstick at the center line of the string, then switch it over to the second drumstick, put another square knot in. Then you'll spread that string across the breast, tuck both ends closed, and make an X on the underside of the chicken right at the center of the wings. Then back on the breast side, do a surgeon's knot, which is basically a square knot looped through twice, then finish off the square knot. And that knot will not loosen as you tighten it up, and then cut the ends of the strings off. Throw another dusting of Cavenders across the outside, then throw it into your rotisserie. When your chicken finishes up and you're setting it into the rest inside, try and get the breast to face down while it cools down and you're going to work the chicken. All those juices then flow into the breast, which is the worst risk of getting dry. For those of you still using the Ronco Compact or Ronco Rotisserie out there, this is a quick hack for you. Add a little drop of olive oil and it takes care of that squeaking sound. You can pick these rotisseries up for $8 to $12, and that's where we get ours from. When it gets kind of scuzzy, I just pick up another one. Well worth it, and it's one of the best rotisseries outside of the grill that I've ever used. Here's a video if you have any interest in looking at our grill rotisserie video.